starting. Delay is going. Hopefully stream will be fine. This is... I am just going to do liquid on both sides. This is liquid internal scrim. Tryouts on both sides. Liquid players on both sides. Wait. I don't know. Liquid fluid, I don't know. I don't really care. It's probably going to be a good match. We are seeing a record side push drone going in. Gonna try to clear out as much space as possible before going down. Luckily there is no one playing very outward. It's gonna be free space taken for the offense. Outlaw Red playing alone. Maybe trying to get an angle on Khan. Doesn't quite see the bot there though. Ooh, Outlawed Red gets a pick. Commander takes out Rona on the wall. Chicago refrags that. Ooh, Maker goes down. Outlaw Red takes out one. Refragged immediately. Elite gets one. Takes a lot of damage though. Chicago is able to get one. Now it's a 1v1. Elite is very low though. Both of them are low. Ooh, the timing. Oh, and Elite gets the headshot. Very good shot there. Very close round there. The offense played very slowly in the beginning, but after wall was blown and some time had passed, they got very aggressive. So did the defense. After the EMP play, after was it Maker got on the table, they started playing a lot more aggro, especially since Red wasn't in. I don't even know what that's called. What would be the call out for here? What would this be? Storage? Well, then what would this be? I don't know. Once Red wasn't in here, they started playing a little bit more aggro since there weren't quite as many angles, and that allowed them to retake a bit of space they'd lost. Now we're on to top floor. Looks like we will be seeing an A-site push with a split on stairs and here on the doorway. Prenade goes out, gets a little bit of damage on Chicago. Not going to be great, especially since they don't have any stims. They will also have to be careful for these trip mines. Player crouch walking here, taken out by both the players. Now it's a 5v4. Hopefully the defense knows that it's now an A-site push. Foam is on wall. Both walls are blown. Very good coordination there. That's going to open up a lot of opportunities for them. Ooh, both players' backside are now dead. That's going to open up a lot of opportunities. Flashbang goes out and Rona is able to get that player. Very good picks. That got them a flawless round. We see Chicago coming in. Saw him on the previous cast, Bros vs. No Name. Hopefully they can get one more sub in and get the defense 5 players as well instead of having one bot, because as we can see they're buying Knut on middle floor. Well, it's not bad. It's also not great. And bots tend to miss their first shot, so not the greatest choice. However, we'll see if the 4 other players on the team are able to make it up, because as we can see, they do have 1 round. We see 3 SMGs and a rifle coming out on defense. Only 1 rifle and 4 SMGs on the offense. Looks like we may be seeing a bookstore push. One is upstairs though, they will have to be careful. Ooh, drone just barely spotted them, and Rona upstairs is going to be able to get that pick. And Chicago is swinging out very aggro on his own. That's 1 dead, however. Oh, 2! Commander is able to take out Chicago. Drone not quite working out for them. However, it's a 4v2 now. 3v2 if you want to count Rona as dead because he's so low. Ooh, Gamer's now on his own. He was able to refrag Commander, however. Ooh, Flashbang just barely misses. Now it's a 1v2. EMP is getting planted though. Great lean peek there, and that's gonna win out round 3 for the offense. It does look like Liquid has gotten there. Oh. One must have left. They now have 2 different people. Interesting name though. DJ. They also have Honey Bun. If it's the same Honey Bun I remember, they do tend to do pretty well. However, we are seeing an A-side rotation. There is a player in vent now. Hopefully they pay attention to that, because the only reason it'd be broken is because there is a guy there. And Drone is going to point that out. Now the player in there is either going to have to rotate out or... Yeah, he has rotated out, and now they don't need to worry about that. Chicago is here, already ready to swing out onto site. There is a player backside though. They will have to be careful. Flashbang goes out, won't quite catch anyone. And Sin's gonna block off the offense. Bad nade goes out. Ooh, Commander swings out, but shut down by Chicago there. Another bad piece of utility. That flashbang goes out, only catches 1 player. However, EMP is in sight now. They are able to plant. Karma is able to get 1 pick. And support out here from hallway. They're not getting flanked. Prevo is able to get Chicago, shutting down that very aggressive player. Rona is able to plant, however, they have like no cover. Carmel is 1 HP and Maker is in hallway. Rona is able to get that pick. Now it's looking a little bit better. Carmel is waiting for that stim to recharge, and then Rona will probably be able to get the EMP down. EMP is gonna get planted, and they're gonna have to be careful of Prevo here. Rona gets that pick, and Maker over there on the side is able to get Honey Bun. Great plays. While I don't totally agree with waiting that long to get EMP planted, it did kind of work out in the end, because Maker was able to support Rona there on the side. I think the main reason was to wait for Carmel to have his stim back. However, it took way too long, and you don't usually want to wait that long to plant EMP, especially when EMP player is already in sight. Going into round 5, we do see a very strong presence here in records. Drone goes down very early, going to give very little information. Drew, good nade, takes out Chicago, very early player advantage along with damage on Rona. They are going to be able to heal, but Chicago going down early is not going to be good. Liquid has, well, the defense has rotated off of records. However, they do still have, who is this? DJ over here in storage, able to cover that. Ooh, peek out, might catch Rona. And Rona goes down. Very good pick. That's going to set up very good early or middle and late round. Good player advantage is going to make it very easy. Maker's able to get that pick onto DJ in storage. However, there's going to be another one in just a few moments. Carmel in sight. Outlaw also getting picks. Ooh, Gamer and Commander able to get picks. However, now it's a 1v1. Outlaw Red is very low, 36 HP. He is able to pick up a stim though. Hopefully hears these footsteps. Very strong position right now, able to hold both door and wall if he hears footsteps. Very good timing there. Outlaw Red was able to stop himself from getting flanked, and that's a 1v2 clutch, I believe. Very good aim there from Red as well. Very not easy to flick like that, at least not early on. However, yeah, he is prestiged already. Very good aim nonetheless. And now this is swap round. Both teams are likely going to buy as much as they can because none of this money, utility, or guns is going to transfer over to the next round. All economies are going to be reset and the teams will swap sides. Meaning Commander, Gamer, Prevo, DJ, and Honeybun are now going to be on offense, and Maker, Outlaw, Carmel, and Chicago are going to be on defense. Very good so far from the offense, though. They've been doing a very good job at sticking together and playing off each other. Drone goes in. Doesn't need to check upstairs, however, they don't know that. They won't check upstairs anyway, though. Very risky to not check stairs, because it is very common to have a roam there. Prevo gets the bot, who decided to go in arcade. However, Carmel has taken a lot of damage. It's not going to be very good. Maker's also taken some damage. Gonna make sure they recover that HP, because right now Carmel could be one-tapped by almost any gun. Ooh, very good blind fire there from Prevo. And Commander on the bomb is able to get that pick. This is not looking good for the offense right now. They are down 3 players. And although they do have a relatively good gun advantage, utility not so much, but compared to 3 of the players, they have better guns. They will have to be careful of this player swing up. They might have heard that. However, Gamer's able to get the pick. Now Carmel's on his own. He does have the stim to heal up. A collateral coming out there. Good. Now it's a 1v2. He's 3 kills through his ace clutch. Got that stim to heal up. Now he has to be careful for player backside. 1v1 now, and Carmel swings the wrong angle and almost pulled off a 1v5 clutch. However, the last player in an unpredicted spot and not quite getting that clutch. Very close though. Did a very good job at using the utility he had to get the first 3 players. Granted, they were also playing very aggressive, much more aggressive than they should have been in a 1v5 situation. However, now sides have swapped, economies have reset, and now we're seeing how this team of Maker, Outlaw, Carmel, and Chicago do on defense. Usually when you're at a player disadvantage, you want to be on defense. It just tends to be easier. So we'll see how this plays out. They do have a 4-2 advantage though, 2 rounds up. Gamer has already gotten a pick. Ooh. Carmel goes down. All 5 of the players are all in this one room. One wall is blown. We do see utility going out. Won't quite catch anyone though. Chicago is in a very odd position. You don't usually see anything like that, and wall is blown. That's going to catch out one. Gamer is able to take out the bot there, and now last player is on Rome. However, are they aware of this? EMP is planted. It's a 1v3. Ooh, Maker not quite able to finish off that kill. Now they know where he is. He's gonna have to make a move. Ooh, and Honeybun swings out very aggressively, is able to get that kill. Very dominant round there from the offense. They were able to take out the 2 players in mess hall by sticking together, which you tend to want to do on pistol rounds. Your strongest advantage in pistol rounds is numbers, because unlike with rifles and SMGs, you can't melt an enemy in like half a second. It's going to take a lot more time because you don't deal as much damage. So having 2 people or fighting in a 2v1 is going to be much more advantageous since you're able to deal a lot more damage. And we saw that here from the offense. They were able to stick together and deal a lot of damage to one person. However, now we're going into middle floor. We are going arcade side. Outlaw, very early pick on Prevo here on stairs. Nade goes out. Will catch a little bit of damage. Drone's going stair side. There is still one in arcade though. Hopefully drone will catch this. Drone has spotted the player. Instant goes out. Won't do too much though. Smoke goes out from the defense. And Maker is able to get a pick. Now he's behind bar. Very difficult position to get the pick on. There is also one in top arcade. They're going to have to be careful. Maker swings out, gets one. Commander refrags that. Outlaw Red is now here to support. Might have been a tad bit late, however, he is here. It is a 4v2. Very good picks coming out from the defense. Offense has started playing a little bit slower, and it's working. The defense is getting a little bit aggro, and that allowed them to get a pick there. The offense has finally started moving in, crouch walking though, not wanting to let them know that they're in the building. 30 seconds on the clock, they're gonna have to make a move. Foam is on the wall. And wall is blown, they have to be careful of this corner. And Chicago is able to get the last pick on the roam over here. Very good play there. They were able to pinch the offense after they were running out of time. We're now on the bottom floor, but different teams attacking. We'll see how they decide to push this floor. Whether they go for A like before, or will push B instead. Do see quite a few defending gadgets out here. Wall, static proxy, another static hover. It seems like it's gonna be a B window play. You don't usually see these, however. If you could pull them off, they tend to work very well. Hopefully they don't take too long, though. Interesting how the EMP player is not going through the window. Bot goes down early to TK. Perhaps they had a gun. Ah, I think it was a Marui. Drone goes down. Nade. Very good nade. Red gets first pick there. It's going to even out the numbers a little bit. And now there's one in cubby. Carmel's able to get that pick there. And this is looking good for the defense. They have player advantage. Excuse me. They have player advantage. And I'm pretty sure a gun advantage, yeah, now that Prevo is dead. Oh, Outlaw Red swings out with the Kanat, however, not quite good enough range to get that pick. They're able to cross, and nade goes out. Won't catch too much damage. Bad instant though. Honeybun and Commander on their own right now. Ooh, Commander is able to get Chicago, however, not without taking a lot of damage, and now there's 20 seconds on the clock. They're gonna have to make a move. And now Honeybun is 6 HP. Such a huge health disadvantage. There's not much you can do here. You might as well just save your gun, especially since there's only 10 seconds on the clock. Luckily, the defense doesn't try to get very aggressive and they're able to carry across 2 rifles as well. Very good for both sides' economy, and hopefully Commander buys a rifle for Prevo or DJ. It's going to be very important to go in with as many rifles and utility as possible. uh, I would be disappointed in that as well, Prevo. I'm not gonna lie, Commander, you should have bought him a Vezin or Marui. Especially since you're not even buying any more utility. However, I can't tell you how to play the game. We're top floor now, and could possibly be seeing a medbay push. There is one in here, however, he is rotating out. Huracan, interestingly enough, drone won't see them, however, Nade will reveal that there is one in medbay. They have taken space here in mess hall. Flashbangs go out. That's gonna give him really easy pick there. However, there is one more medbay. Oh, Maker's able to get that pick. 2k there. 3k only refragged by Gamer. Gamer's able to get 2 picks there. Now it's a 2v2. However, there is still one more defender there in the hallway. Ooh, a lot of damage through the corner there. Now Gamer's very low. He's gonna have to rotate either back to his teammate or sights. Chicago takes a lot of damage by that nade. He's gonna need a stim. And he gets it. He's gonna be able to heal up in time. However, hopefully the defense stays on site. It's gonna be one wall, and hopefully they're gonna get the second one. Both walls are blown, and hopefully the defenders go ahead and rotate over. "30 seconds on the clock. They're gonna have to start making a move on the offense. It's match point right now. Honeybun's gonna need to swing in and get EMP planted. There is one now on the roam and one in con. Ooh, Elite is not able, or Gamer is not able to get the pick, and Chicago on the roam there is able to get the pick. That's gonna be first round win for... Hang on, I just realized this doesn't work. Team 2. Alright, this is how it's gonna work from now on. I didn't like stop to think about this. Mall 7-3. Team 1. Very good rounds there, especially this round. We saw some very good use of utility flashbangs to try to get that Huracan player in the corner, and also grenades. A grenade pushed away Chicago from that doorway temporarily. However, in the end, Chicago was able to get that pick from the roam. Very good plays from both sides. Maker also very good gun skill. Saw very good flicks from him. A very important skill to have. Likely see some side swapping. Maybe get one of the reservists swapped out. Very good performance from most of the players here. So all right, it looks like we have our teams in order. Okay, maybe not. All right, new teams. On the Team 2, Commander, Gamer, Outlaw, Red, Elite, and Honeybun. On Team 1, we have Maker, Carmel, DJ, Chicago, and Prevo. Almost might as well not have a score thing if teams are going to change. Skyscraper. Haven't usually seen Skyscraper in League very often anymore. Teams tend to favor maps like Hideout and Arctic. Bottom floor on Office versus conference. Office side. We see a roam upstairs on radio. I find this interesting. You don't usually see anyone go upstairs. Hatch doesn't tend to be super popular. It drops straight into B site, which is exposed to a lot of angles. However, who knows? Maybe it's not meant to stop radio. Looks like we will be seeing a bathroom side push. Commander getting a very early pick. He is very low now, however. It looks like the defense has started rotating over. There is still 2 roams, however. Hopefully this doesn't hurt them. Foam is on wall. It's gonna get blown, and there's 2 on site. 1 in booth and 1 on bomb. What? Ooh, booth goes down. Prevo taken out by commander. Now it's up to Carmel on site. Gets 1, however can't get a lead. Now it's a 1v4. However, commander, gamer, and elite are all very low. All one shot. Even to the body. Commander is gamer and liquid and elite very low. 2 shots to the body. EMP is planted. Chicago's gonna have to make a move. Does look like Chicago will be saving his gun. Maybe not? Ooh, very good pick there. Chicago takes out Gamer. It's going to be a little bit of extra money. He's not going to be able to defuse. Not sure why he spent so long. Honeybun does go down, however, commander is able to get the refrag. A little bit of extra money into their pocket, but should have pushed a little bit sooner. Maybe would have had a chance of actually defusing the EMP. Very interesting start so far. Close round there. Most everyone got very low, and now we're at the site just above. Team 1 still on defense. Team 2 was able to win out that round. Seeing a fairly good split. There were 2 on A, and 1 in red room or servers. You tend to want to have someone out here, even if they die. It is good to know that they are pushing servers. Knowing where they're pushing is very important to know very early on, and hopefully they hear these gunshots and are aware. Ooh, the Taurus. Very good shot there. And now servers is clear. Team 2 is going to be able to take a lot of space. Lean Peak coming out though. Ooh, one swinging close on door. They might be able to catch out the attackers here, but no. Timing doesn't work out for them. Foam is on wall now. No damage traded. However, 3 of the attackers, or no, 4 are just sitting in servers. Wall is blown. However, the defense is very ready for this. Ooh, Commander is able to take out Prevo, and that's going to give a major player advantage. However, as I say that, Chicago is able to get a pick. Now it's 3v4. Ooh, they know one's in sight now. Carmel is able to swing out, get 1, 2 dead. However, Gamer is able to shut that down, not before losing 3 players though. Very good swing out. Didn't have support from teammates though. What would have made that so much better is if Chicago and Maker had swung with him. Okay, smoke coming out. However, there is 30 seconds on the clock. Defense did a very good job at stalling this attack. And now they're going to be struggling. Gonna get EMP passed up. Hopefully they can stick the plant without any interruptions. EMP does get planted, and now it's a 2v2 post-plant situation. Maker's able to take out Gamer. Very good pick, and now he's getting pinched. Red is able to get 1, however, Maker is able to refrag that from the vent. Very good pinch. And it's going to be first round for Team 1. Very even so far. Rounds have been very close, and as we've seen here, 1-1. Maybe a little bit early, but OT maybe? Possibly. We see 2 rifles coming out on Team 1. Not bad buy scheme. 3 SMGs. That tends to be relatively common buy now in this new Season 5 meta. We also see 1 rifle coming out from Team 2. However, there's also an RCP. Personally, I can vouch for the RCP. After using it a little bit in competitive and control points, I could say I was surprised. It can almost outperform a Vezin. Commander is able to get that pick onto Carmel, and Gamer swinging in gets that second one. Now there's no one on site. Playing aggro did not work for them. A lot of utility spent getting in sight though. There is no one in though. They now have full site control, and it's a retake situation. 3v5. Ooh, Chicago is able to get 1. However, Outlaw trades it out. DJ and Chicago on their own. 1 on wall. DJ is able to get that pick. Wall is blown. Commander is able to get that pick. And the second one. Very good timing for getting the wall blown. They're able to divide the attention of the defenders. TK for the Vezin, but not able to grab it. Team 2 have taken the lead in this first half. Very strong round that time. The defense played a little bit too far out. 3 players on roam and 2 just sitting on the doorway. The attack was able to capitalize off 1v1s and surprise to very easily win out that round. Very good plays. We are now here on top floor. I don't remember what this is called, hang on, storage site. Ooh, no one on A. This is gonna be very difficult to come back from. EMP is already planted and there's been no contest. The main problem right now for the offense is gonna be this roam. However, there's a player on stairs. Could make it difficult for Prevo. And Gamer's able to get that pick. Elite on site gets one. Carmel is able to refrag that. One is in hallway right now. They're gonna have to be careful. Maker is able to get that pick. That's gonna make it a 3v2. They have player advantage. Maker on a 2K. And Chicago with the Taurus. They're gonna have to get perfect defuse to win this round. But no. Team 2 is able to get stall for enough time and get the round win. Unfortunate. Maker did a good job there in hallway. He was able to get 2 picks. However, the rest of his teammates in con just did not play fast enough, and that caused them to lose the round because Team 2 was able to stall. You never want to let more than around 10 seconds pass before you start taking space back on site, because there's only, once that EMP is planted, there's only 45 seconds to do anything, because after those 45 seconds are over, well, actually, you could say even less, even 40, because after it takes around 5 to 7 seconds to defuse. So after that time, if there's only 5 seconds left, you've already lost the round. Once again, going for this lean peek. However, Carmel's ready. Commander goes down very early. Good pick, good prediction. Bravo is also here on the window. Not sure if a drone's gonna go in and see them. Oh, good smoke for cover though. And drone goes down. They don't know Prevo is in there. DJ there gets the pick. However, it could be a rotation. One's outside A and they're on A hatch. Outlaw could get this pick on the player in table. Ooh, they know they're in hall now. Shots were fired. Team 2 is hanging around A site hatch. Tends to be the less favorable hatch to drop. However, they do drop and Chicago is able to get 2. Outlaw is able to refrag that. Now it's a 1v4 and MP is down in the middle of A site. One in hallway with Knut. Gets taken down. One back site. Outlaw red on a 3K. 1v1 now. EMP is down A site and the last player's on roam in lounge. Ooh. Maker is on site door. Smoke goes out. EMP is now planted and Red is able to use a pixel right underneath the wall bangable cover there. Very good plays, very good map knowledge. I didn't even know you could see through that pixel there. Team 1 has finally got a 5th player, Sneaky Golem, subbing in. Alright, we are now on swap round, meaning Team 2 will swap over to defense after this round, resetting economies and hopefully giving Team 1 a chance to do a little bit more damage. Team 2 has been very strong on offense, and maybe swapping sides will help them. However, Drone has spot out DJ very early. Nade gonna go out, takes out DJ in red room. Hopefully this is enough to indicate a B-side push and the players rotate accordingly. They do have to be careful for the player in hallway though. They've come through window and have a hold here. Foam is passed. They're gonna be able to takes out Chicago on the roam. Ooh, Elite stuck out of the wall a little bit too much, and Carmel was able to punish him for that. Now it's a 2v2. Hopefully they hear EMP getting planted. Won't quite get any damage. They're planting in a very good location. Commander is able to take out Prevo. Now it's a 1v2 post-plant situation. Very good crossfire. They're able to hold each other's angles and make it very difficult for Carmel to swing just one. Ooh, Carmel's able to get Honeybun. Honeybun got a little bit too aggro there. Carmel's going to have to swing out, and Commander gets that pick. 5-1 first half for Team 2. No, I have to change it myself. Two players going down. Chicago with the Taurus is able to get a few picks. Oh, they're inside already. Chicago 2, however, goes down. Now Golem is on his own, sneaking in through bathroom. However, EMP is over on a site. Ooh, Golem is able to get one in a site, and now it's a 1v1. They are rotating con by the looks of it. Uh-oh. I may be having connection issues. Apologies. Through the slideshow we saw. Oh. Hmm. Um. What? Did the server crash? Um, hmm. Oh, never mind, I'm dumb. What was the code? Alright, we are going back. I'm top floor now. Team 1 still on offense. Golem getting a pick, however, Honeybun getting the Knut killed. Now Golem is on his own in Lounge. One v 2 and he doesn't have EMP. I don't know where it is even either, though I would assume it's on stairs. And Honeybun swinging out gets that kill. Team 2 is now on match point. We'll see if Team 1 is able to pull back 5 consecutive rounds or if they're gonna go down before then. Ooh. They lost 3 players on Team 1. Maybe similar thing happened to them as it did me. Hopefully they come back in time. I wasn't even paying attention to that before. We do see a few players here in vent. And Lee is able to take out Tristan, not before taking a little bit of damage though. Carmel's able to take out Red. Flashbang goes out, won't quite catch anyone. A lot of damage has been traded on these stairs though. Carmel's able to get 1-2. Golem is holding the angle, won't quite get the pick. No damage traded either. While they do technically have player advantage, the other 2 are bots. One's stuck outside and one's just standing on the window. Elite is able to get 1. Ooh, Golem is able to get Elite. That's going to put very strong numbers advantage for Team 1. However, they don't have health advantage. Carmel is able to stim up, but Sneaky Golem is going to be stuck at 51. Head dinkable at any range. We do see a rotation in order. EMP is going to get planted on a site. Instant's going to go out. Won't quite catch anyone though, and Carmel is able to finish off that round. Once again, we're still match point. Team 2 could win this at any time by just winning 1 round. However, Team 1 has started to pull it back a tiny bit. They won that round pretty dominantly in a 2v5. Bots jumping in here in hallway. Defense doesn't seem quite aware. Jiggle Peak comes out. Maybe we'll see all three bots are there. One swings out. Honeybun is able to get one. Nate goes out. Elite is able to get one. Jonathan goes down on the defense. Carmel is able to get two. Careful for that peek out the window, however. Ooh, one's jumping out. Will throw nade. Doesn't go far though. One Golem is now going in bathroom. However, Carmel has EMP here on A. Ooh, he jumps in. Carmel's able to get one. He's gonna start getting the EMP planted. However, ooh, he temporarily baits, and now he's stuck it, and Carmel is able to ace that round. Amazing. EMP planted and getting the ace. Very good show skill. I find it interesting how Team 1 is winning more now that they have less people. Perhaps it was just a side swap thing though. Or a mentality thing of, if we lose this round, we lose the game. Now going into, once again, what could be the last round. Ooh, Golem goes down very early to red. And Tom is also dead now. One jumped outside. David and Tristan are now also dead. Red is on a very good kill streak. Perhaps an ace return? I'm not quite sure if it was 4 kills. Carmel has gotten another kill. Ooh, unfortunate flashbang. Ooh, 2 dead. They're getting very aggressive here in courtyard. He's gonna have to be careful of that window there. Ooh, Carmel's able to get elite. Ooh, and Honeybun swings out very aggressively, and that's gonna win Team 2 second map. I don't know if they're doing a third map, however, that is all I'm going to be casting. I have school tomorrow. Apologies for having school, but that's going to be the end. Not sure if I'm casting one tomorrow. I've also been trying to do some stuff with Forefront, however, I've been having problems transferring video, so that may not be coming out soon. Anyway, I will see you either in the next cast or in a Forefront video. See you then.